Well. Welcome back to the Yavneh Media Art Studio podcast booth. It has been about 21 weeks. We're meant to do this weekly, but a lot of stuff happened along the way, but we're all here now. And it's the first week of finals, and we're joined by Ruby, Zach, Jack, and Mr. G Goldstein. Wowee, what a year. Let's not get into it fully, but let's get into the finals first. Actually, we'll say hi. Mr. G, how you going?
Mr. D, how are we going, everyone? I remember our first show when we were predicting a bottom four finish for Collingwood, and
yes,
here we are sharing the top four together. I'm very excited.
It is great, and we'll talk about that journey along the way, some amazing games, but we better get straight into it. Zach, how are you going today?
Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you, Mr. D?
Fantastic. Ruby, how's everything?
Yeah, good.
Sorry about who do you barrack for again, Ruby?
Carlton.
Oh, your brother Gabe. Yeah, he was a bit upset during the week. How did he take that loss?
Not very well. Wasn't very happy around home.
We'll go into more detail into that later. And Jack Boymel, well, we know you're proudest bunch. Got our Collingwood scarves on.
Very proud.
Yeah, very proud. Okay, so the first game we've got. Tell you what, Tigers Lions. Zach, I'm going to ask you first. Give us a kick-off on who do you think is going to win this and why?
Well, first of all, both teams looking pretty strong going into finals. Though Brisbane, they just lost to Melbourne, so they didn't look so good after that. Also, Richmond played Brisbane a few weeks ago and they won.
Yep.
Also, Richmond have had a pretty strong finish to the season.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if you know, but people might think they're not doing too well. As in, they might not do too well because they're playing at the G.
True. They're playing at the Gabba, yeah?
But during quarantine, that was the home ground.
True. Who do they? Where did they play recently? Was it at the G? Brisbane and Tigers. Was it at the MCG? Yeah, and they came back from 40. What was it? Points down. 46 points.
I think so. Yeah,
that was a crazy game. Zach, what's your tip for that game, mate?
I'll go for Richmond.
Oh, he's done it. Oh no, wrong button. What are the buttons? I forgot the buttons, guys. Oh, that's a cow button. Okay, yeah, so Richmond, and by how much do you reckon?
I'll go with 16 points.
16 points, so under 3 goals. Wowee. All right, there we go. Mr. G, what do you think about that? Give us your tip.
I think Brisbane disappoint when it matters most, and I think the other 7 teams are hoping Richmond don't go further than this week.
Yes.
So but I think they will. Dusty back, confirmed by Damien Hartwig the other night. So I think Richmond will win this one pretty easily, I reckon. 4 goals, 5 goals.
Yeah, but if Collingwood play Richmond, we know what Mason Cox is going to do. 2018 comes as it was a fantastic game, Jack, to be at. Let's not talk about the week after, but yeah. Okay, good. Jack, what do you think? Tip?
Well, I agree with Zach that I don't think playing at the Gabba will affect the Tigers too much. They've won a flag there, so that won't be a big problem. And I think Lions losing Rayner, Tigers gaining Dusty, just all that star power back for Richmond.
Dusty! Strockers used to love Dusty, didn't
Dusty.
he? I know, that was the other Strockers, yeah.
Richmond, look, they're on a roll. They've shown they can beat the Lions, and I don't think Brisbane, the form they're in, will be able to beat the red-hot finals Tigers, so I've got the Tigers by about 20 points, I'd say.
Wowee. Gotcha. All right. Ruby, your tip for that game, Lions-Tigers?
I'm also going to go Tigers. I reckon they're looking pretty strong by maybe a few goals.
I agree. I'm going with the Tigers. Lions and Tigers and Bears. Oh, my. Oh, wrong one. Laughing. Where's the laughing? No one laughed at my joke. Okay. Melbourne and versus the Swans. Mr. G, I hope you got your cheese platter ready for that game. It's going to be huge at the MCC, but it is on Friday night. It is on Shabbat, but I'm sure at home you'll have the cheese platter there and the TV off. So, yeah, how's that all going to how's it all going to go? It's going to be huge because didn't the Swans beat you last time?
Swans did beat us at the G right at
Ooh.
the kind of beginning of our form slump, and I don't think there's there are no teams in the finals you want to play, but I think Sydney just have that young burst of speed that if you don't match it, they'll just run over the top of you. So I think Melbourne really have to be on their game with the contested ball and not let Sydney get to the outside, which they were able to do in the fourth quarter last time. Nervous, scared.
Yeah.
I still have a premiership to back up last year, so whatever happens, happens. But we really need to be at our best. I still think at our best, I don't think they can beat us, but Melbourne haven't hit their best a lot in the last 10 weeks of the season.
And I mean, as Mr. Four would say, the premiership has got a bit of an asterisk on it. But he's a Geelong supporter. They've made the finals all the time and just keep, losing. So your tip is Melbourne. How much do you reckon, sir?
Whatever. It's finals.
Exactly.
Win by 10 goals. I think if we win, it will be a 3 or 4 goal win. Based on the way we can run out games. We just got to stop them getting out on the outside.
Ruby, who's your tip?
Melbourne haven't had a great end to the season, but I reckon they'll still be able to pull it off.
They did beat Carlton, didn't they?
Yes.
Oh, that's another one. Sorry, Carlton. There was another one you lost by in the last minute. Oh, who was it? Pickett kicked that goal. Pickett around his goal. Oh, yeah, that was great. Sorry. Yeah, okay. Jack?
I reckon it's going to be a great game of footy.
It will be.
Yeah, obviously earlier in the year it was also an amazing game. I reckon a big problem with Melbourne has been their forward. A lot of commentators saying that they're not sharing the footy well.
Yep.
Last week it was evident that wasn't the case.
Yep.
Ben Brown getting involved, Fritsch getting involved. I think that Melbourne's forward line will be a bit too overwhelming, and I think their defence will also be pretty tough to cut through. So I've got the Demons by 2 goals.
Ooh, huge. Zach, who are you going with, champ?
I'm going to go with Sydney.
Yep.
A few weeks ago, they had a strong win against Collingwood.
Yep. He's dropping the hang on, where's my button? Mr. G's in the room, he's dropping the boom. Sorry about that. Yeah, he's dropping it. Swans. Yep.
They
Why?
look like a very structured and strong team this year. I can't see them losing this game.
I think Mr. G's heart right now is he's just like, I've got to mark Zach's essay soon. What am I going to give him? No, I'm joking. Ruby, who's your tip? Or did we already do that? Sorry, have I missed anyone? Myself, I'm going with the Swans. You know why? Just to annoy Mr. G. Go Franklin. Go, what's his name? Who's the other guy? Heaney, yes. Okay. All right, we're going to go Freo Bulldogs, saving the best to last. Ruby, look, I don't want to bring up, again, what happened to Carlton, because, it's a bit of a sore spot with what happened. But Freo Bulldogs, it could have been Freo Carlton. Who do you think's going to win this out of Freo Bulldogs?
I reckon Optus Stadium, Freo all the way.
Yeah. Do you think if Carlton, Jamie Elliott from the boundary, do you reckon if Jamie Elliott, if Carlton had made it, do you reckon it would have been Carlton beating Freo, do you think?
Freo have some pretty good form, so probably not, but would have hoped so.
I think it would have been a better game, don't you reckon?
Yeah, probably.
Jack?
I think at the start of the year you'd say yes, but I mean
they were 8-2,
and then Collingwood, but
And Melbourne.
Melbourne.
They lose to Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. I don't think in a million years they'd beat the Docs at Optus.
Yeah, but I think it would have been, all jokes aside, that wah. I think it would have been pretty cool to have Carlton, Collingwood, Melbourne, all these big teams in the final, like Melbourne teams in there. But whatever happened. Okay, Ruby, so your tip is Freo, yeah?
Yeah.
Zach, who are you going with, mate?
Well, in 2016, Bulldogs finished 8th on the ladder.
They did.
Then, out of nowhere in the finals, they somehow got to the grannies. I don't expect the same this year, but I reckon they might be a good contender. But
Might have that bit of magic coming their way. Yes.
Exactly.
Zach pulling out the facts. He's right. He's like, you're like the newsman. You're like, give us the news and you're telling us the facts about 2016. You're right. They did come from 8th. Correct. So you're back in Bulldogs.
I reckon, yeah.
All right. Jack, I think did you give us your tip?
No, I just said Dockers would beat Carlton.
Ah, gotcha.
And I also think that they will beat Bulldogs because I agree with Zach that the Doggies, they're like, you just don't expect it, and then all of a sudden they're in a grand final from the bottom 4 of the top 8.
Jack into the mic, yeah.
And I think it's going to be a great game. I think we're going to see some players like Bontempelli step up, even players that haven't done it that much. I think also Libba's a huge out for them. Whereas
heard about that.
I don't think Nat Fyfe is a big out for Dockers. He doesn't make that big of an impact.
Wow, okay.
So I've got but I do think it'll be a close game.
Big call, huge call, big call. Mr. G?
Well, I think Jack kind of took the points I was going to discuss, but I think
Did you read your notes like we used to?
Well, Bulldogs sneaking into the 8, as happy as we all were about Carlton missing out, we then forgot who comes in for them, last year's grand finalists. Just like Richmond, you don't want to come up against them, and Fremantle have had some awful losses at home this year, including to Collingwood when Collingwood was still at the bottom of the ladder. So Freo have that element of just let down, and just like Brisbane do. But I think the Libba news changes everything. I don't think people realise what a great year he had. Almost better than McRae was for them all year. He's a huge loss, and we said when Melbourne play Bulldogs, Libba's the man they attack.
Yeah.
So that's a big loss and makes me rethink. But I still think Bulldogs, and I think Collingwood will be very unhappy about that if they can't get up against Geelong either.
Well, that leads me into the next segue into the most magical game of the finals. Who cares about the rest? Because, Jack, it is Collingwood v Geelong 2019 rematch at the MCG at 4:30. Rubbish time, by the way, because I'm going to miss some of the Bull Ants finals at that time. But what do? Let's talk about it, Jack. Forget about everything else. Cats pies. Me and Mr. Four and I tell you what, I haven't spoken to him at all. I can't look at him. I just, you know what? I look at him, I just see Dangerfield. I see Cameron. I see Hawkins. I see that all-Australian captain Hawkins. Let's not talk about that. Let's just talk about who's going to win and why. I think, look, it's going to be pressure on, but if we can get a good start, the Pies, if they can get a good start, and if it's close near the end, the last 5 minutes, even if it's 2 goals down, the Pies will take it. I'm worried about a blowout, though. That's what I'm worried about. Jack, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think we have the ability to dominate them. Like, at the end of the day, with most teams this year, we have shown that we're capable of winning.
We're up by 35 points against them in round 3, and we blew that
points,
lead.
But I think, obviously, both teams are extremely different this time around. I think if we can, a tough thing with Geelong is that Chris Scott, he's an unbelievable coach, and he really is good at making sure that the opposition
Jack, talk into the mic for me.
Can't play how they want to play. So if their structure blocks our cutting through the middle very well, it could be tough for us. But we've shown our will and grit, and just our manic game style holds up. And finals is all about that. It's scrappy. It's a tough contest.
It is.
So if Geelong, not necessarily crack under the pressure, but if they stoop down to our level, if it's just like a hard-hitting, contested game, I do believe. And I think all Collingwood fans, just after this year, we believe.
We believe.
Look, Cats should win this game. They are the clear favourites.
Yeah. You know, they play all the games at Skill Stadium, whatever they want to call it, you know, and they're whinging about the home game. Mr. Four is there. We don't get a home game. Blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what, mate? You got to play at the MCG. You got to win the grand final there, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So my head says Cats, but my heart says the Pies. So it's gonna be an amazing game of footy. Even though I'm not super confident, I'll back us in. Pies by 3 points.
Bang! Dropping the
Pies.
That's the cow. It was meant to be the bomb. Ruby, what do you think?
Collingwood had a pretty amazing end to the season, but Cats have been strong all season, been very consistent, so I'd have to go Cats.
By how much do you reckon?
I reckon Collingwood are getting it done. They'll win by about 4 or 5 goals.
Snap. You've heard it here first. I am worried about that, to be honest, Ruby. I am, but I do remember 2019, and I keep going back to the past. 4 or 5 goals, you reckon? All right. Zach?
I reckon it's a tough one. For Geelong, it's about, because I'm sure they've watched how Collingwood play many times.
Yep.
Before this game. So I reckon it's how they adapt to these last quarters on how Collingwood play.
Yes. So if it's close, what do you reckon will happen?
If it's close, I reckon Collingwood will win.
Oh, yes.
But I'm not happy about that.
Yeah.
But
you're a Carlton supporter too.
Yes, I am.
Oh, forgot about that. Yeah. Well, look. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping too. If it's close. All right. So your tip is?
I will go with Geelong, but I do reckon Collingwood have a chance.
All right. There you go, Mr. G. Look, sitting there, and you're looking at Collingwood, who beat Melbourne twice this year. Treated your game like a circus. I was at that game. I tell you what, it was like Collingwood running rings around the D's. Jack, let's just talk about the last 11 weeks, 12 weeks. Wow, we didn't talk about it. How good has it been? It's been fantastic. To beat Melbourne twice, the premiership contenders or whatever, it's just been great. It was a circus. And the Carlton game and the Bombers game, let's not forget that. Hilarious.
Unbelievable.
All right, we've got that out of my system.
It's unbelievable.
Mr. G?
I'm not sure what game you were watching by saying you ran circles around us. I think by half time, we should have been up by, 12, 13 goals?
Yeah, probably.
Let's not talk about that. But I'll tell you what you have in your favour over
Here we
Geelong.
go. Here we go.
Collingwood have been playing finals footy for about 10 weeks now. Every game.
Yep.
Every game has been high contested footy, won at the death, shown you can win. Geelong, thanks to their coach's brother helping out the AFL, got them a nice soft draw.
Ooh.
Well,
Wow.
They ended the year
Reigning
on
premiers twice.
Dropping the bombs. Yep.
They ended the year on North Melbourne, then West Coast, then Gold
You hearing that,
Coast,
Mr. Four? You hearing all
Then
this?
they got to play West Coast again.
Dropping the
Again.
facts.
They've had a soft run in. Then they've had the injury scare with Cameron. Will he be fit enough? Then they have a week's bye as well. They haven't been challenged for a while.
Yep.
It's probably 2 months since the last time they played a top 4 side.
Wow. Okay.
And will that matter? I think we all agree here that the way the season's gone, it's Geelong's premiership to lose from here. They're the favourites. They came top. You get the home run down into the finals. They've got to win it from this position, and that's where Collingwood can take advantage. That pressure creeps in.
Yep.
And Collingwood just have this unbelievable knack of staying in games they're not playing well in and
Yep.
running over the top. That what Langdon was talking about. You can't stop it once Collingwood are on top.
Yes, Langdon with his one-trick pony thing, blah, blah, blah.
Enough tricks to beat him.
What happened to him? Yeah,
He-
okay, cool. Another
He
another
was-
circus act from him. One-trick ponies, blah, blah, blah. Tell me to be quiet, actually. Yeah,
But
sorry.
he was 100% spot on. When Collingwood are playing
I
like
know.
that, there's nothing you can do to stop it. And if
True.
they do, they will. I just think Geelong, I still will tip them because they'll get out of the blocks early, and I think Collingwood will be playing catch-up and
Yeah.
step too far. I think Collingwood will make a prelim this year. I just don't think they'll do it by winning this week.
Entertaining year it's been for Collingwood supporters. I'm happy with either way. I can say it right now to everyone in Mr. Four. I'm happy with what's happened. You know, I'm ecstatic. It's been a great year. Even if we go out, whatever, even if we lose, doesn't matter, Jack, because we are in a good spot. And when I mean, you know,
Sure.
Carlton, sorry about what happened. Kind of sorry, not sorry, but whatever. The D's, you deserve to be up there too. But I tell you what, it's been great with Zach, Ruby, Jack, Mr. G. I mean, any final comments, Ruby, on? Well, actually, we'll say it from here because we might see you in a couple of weeks too. Who's going to win the flag? Do you reckon?
I'm backing Geelong.
Oh, Zach.
I haven't thought about this one, but I reckon Sydney.
The Swannies. Jack, please think about your answer.
Well, I'm going to say Collingwood because
Yes!
I want to believe. But look, I mean, if I had to be unbiased,
Don't you dare.
if I had to be unbiased,
Don't you?
it would have to be the Cats.
Oh.
They are the strongest team.
No.
But I'm backing in my boys, even though it's not with a lot
Yeah.
of confidence. I'm backing in my boys.
I'll back in my boys, but
Yep.
I'll put it out there. Melbourne's best is the best.
Yes,
We haven't reached that level. in
I
a
agree with
while.
that.
But if Melbourne, seemed that Pickett was maybe a turning moment.
Yeah.
If we play like we did against Brisbane, no one's beating us. But we haven't reached that levels in a while. This is Geelong's premiership to lose, and
Yep.
they really shouldn't from here. I think Geelong will win it.
I think, look, you know, Collingwood, blah, blah, blah. We all know one-eyed Collingwood. But I think Demons, if they can do that pressure against Geelong in the grand final, Demons will beat Geelong in the grand final because Geelong have that contained kind of plan, whereas Melbourne have got that crazy ball, similar to Collingwood sometimes. And on the big day, on the big dance, and also can't bear to look at... anyway, Mr. Four, he's copped it enough today. I think that's it, guys. It's been great. Thank you, Ruby, for jumping in. Zach, thank you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack, and obviously Mr. G. Goldstein. This has been a Yavneh Media Art Studio podcast production. We hope to see you next week with a new panel, maybe. We'll see what happens. But please drop a like, subscribe to the Yavneh YouTube channel. It's been huge. Up the pies.
Oh,
Collingwood. And that is 3, 2, 1, and we're out of here.